Plaintiff Dawn Jones says while dating the defendant, there was a lot of drinking and fighting involved. And one time the defendant hit her with a weed whacker and broke her arm. Dawn's suing her ex today because during a barbecue they got into an argument and the defendant ran her over with his van. Defendant William Pettis admits that he hit Dawn with a weed whacker, but says he did it because she angered him. William insists he accidentally hit Dawn with his vehicle, but doesn't believe he caused her injuries.
Start with you.
First, I want to say I'm honored to be in your courtroom.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you so much for sharing your story because you inspired me to go back to college.
Oh, good. Glad
Yes,
to hear
sir.
that. Good.
Let me give you some background. I've known William Pettis for over 30 years. We come from a small community outside of Pittsburgh, and we kind of have mutual friends, mutual family members, so that's how I know him.
Okay.
You know, I've heard different people say in the community that, you know, William was interested in me. And I was like, well, whatever, not really paying it too much attention. One day I'm in my house and I see these guys looking in my window, and I ran outside and I'm looking, and I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking in your window. I said, what do you want? He said, you want to go out? Well, of course, I was flattered. So I grabbed my purse and flew on out the door, and we went out.
You were flattered by a peeping Tom. Go ahead. So you went out with a peeping Tom.
Yes, Judge Mathis. We went out, we started hanging out. Of course, drinking and hanging out.
When was this?
This was
Year.
in 2001.
All
I do
right,
believe.
01.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And we had started, drinking and hanging out. He's a really nice person until he gets...
Till he gets to that window, doctor. Till he gets to that window. Turn into a whole different man.
Until he gets to a certain, certain point of his drinking. We've had two bad fights.
Physical?
Very physical.
What
very
year?
physical.
What years were those?
I'm going to say 2003.
And the other?
The other one, it was shortly after that.
Okay, what was that about? What were those about?
Well, I can't even remember what they were about. You know, it started off as an argument, and all of a sudden, I'm like tearing him up. He couldn't hang with me. All of a sudden, I seen a weed whacker come down. He broke my arm with the weed whacker.
Did you press charges?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Just pretty much giving him a chance. He said that he was going to change. He was going to stop drinking.
Yeah, that's not unusual that loved ones don't charge each other when they get into a violent situation, but that's a little far. All right, anything else before I allow him to give some background? You all still together, or when did you break up?
Oh, I apologize. No, sir, not at all.
When
I
did you
heard your
stop?
story one day, and it kind of encouraged me.
Oh, you
and
cut him? You cut him?
Yes, well, I cut him loose. I left.
Oh, thank
I
God.
left.
And I'll be kidding, folks, when I tell these women if they get assaulted to cut the man. I'm just kidding. Run. But if you can't get away, no, go ahead. Still don't cut him.
We've had two bad fights.
Physical?
Very physical, very physical.
What were those about?
I can't even remember what they were about. You know, it started off as an argument. All of a sudden, I seen a weed whacker come down. He broke my arm with the weed whacker.
Plaintiff Dawn Jones dated the defendant, and she claims he broke her arm with a weed whacker and ran her over with his van.
Go ahead.
Well, it's been some time since I cut him, but I made a decision.
Cut him loose.
Cut him loose.
When was that?
When was that? 5 years ago.
Okay.
5 years ago. I made a decision to relocate to Charlotte, North Carolina. I currently attend an HBCU, which I'm very proud of.
Which one? A&T?
Johnson C. Smith University.
Okay, good, good. How you doing there?
I'm doing really, really well.
Good.
Thank you. Thank
Good.
you. Thank you.
Good. All right, and so how did he come back into the picture, if at all?
Well, we have mutual friends in Pittsburgh, also in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he had asked me for a favor, and it was a little,
When was this?
13.
All right.
And I said, okay, no problem, because even though we weren't in a relationship, we still remained friends. And I did him a favor, and he says, well, give me 30 days and I'll get back to you. Well, 30 days had come and gone, you know, and I'm calling. He's avoiding my phone calls. I happened to show up at
Okay, before we get
Yes.
to the incident that you're describing, let me allow him to give some background. Sir?
Your Honor, first of all, she's not as innocent as she says she is. You know, there's some things she done done, some things I done done. You know, and either one was perfect, but
Tried to chop her arm with a weed whacker?
hey, don't piss me off. And, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's your only way to resolve a dispute
no,
with a woman, is to come down on her with a weed whacker?
I mean,
Good
like,
enough.
hey,
Makes you a strong man. All right, if that's what you believe. Coming down on a woman with a weed whacker or assaulting a woman with violence makes you a big man, and that's what you think? Okay. How many men have you done that to?
I don't try to fight nobody.
Oh, only women. Got it.
No.
Got you, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I told her to keep, you know, gonna make me lose my patience, you know.
Okay.
You know,
Got you.
because you know, just
A man ever made you lose your patience in the last 10 years or so?
yeah, and I walk away from before I hurt him.
Oh, you walk away from a man. Walk away from a man and assault a woman. Gotcha. All right, let's get to the medical bills you're suing him for.
Yes, sir. I have a list of medical bills that that need to be paid.
All right, what occurred? What was the incident?
We had end up at a mutual
You did a
friend-
favor in 2013, then you showed up where?
at a cookout. And I seen him and I approached him and he was lit up. He was tore up. He gets in his van, he's yelling and cursing at me. All of a sudden, it was like, boom, I had hit the ground. And here he ran me over with his van. I have a torn MCL and
What month and year was that?
this was August of 2013.
Go ahead.
I'm currently seeing a physical therapist and an ortho doctor, and the medical bills are piling up, and I feel like he should be responsible.
Did you ever go to the police on this?
This incident, when I woke up, when I came to, I was in the hospital, and I wasn't really aware of what was going
All right,
on.
but you are now. Did you go to the police yet?
No,
man?
sir.
Why? You want him to keep doing this? He's gonna do it to another woman if he keeps getting away with it. He hacked your arm, and he thinks that's cute, and he acts like he'll do it again if he gets a chance. In fact, he said he would. You're gonna let the man walk around doing this to other women? He ran you over this time? Why didn't you do it this time? You had stopped seeing him 4 years ago, and then he ran you over with a car. You still won't go to the police. Why not?
Well, I just made a decision just to completely cut ties with him and stay away from him.
All right. Let me see your medical bills you're suing him for. Sir, you want to respond?
I'm not the bad person you'll make me out to be, you know.
You make yourself out to be that, sir. Remember what you told me? That's what you do. You attack them. You whack them.
Plaintiff Dawn Jones dated the defendant, and she claims he broke her arm with a weed whacker and ran her over with his van.
What else you want me to know, sir?
I don't think I should pay the medical bills.
Why not?
Because she might get hit somewhere else with a vehicle or something. Try to blame it on me, you know.
So you never used a vehicle?
I did, but I'm saying,
Did it hit her? Did it hit her?
Yeah, I didn't mean to though.
Man, why won't you press charges? It's not too late. You see how he's talking? You're praising me for inspiring you, for what I do for other people, by telling my history. You think I want people to know I was a thug as a kid? I do it so that I can help other kids and other single parents know that there's some hope that they can change their lives. So we need you to show other women who are victimized by this. All right. All I can do is grant you your $5,000. You do what you like. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm glad you admitted in court what you did. That's probably the only thing that you were open and honest about. You do have a 24-year-old girlfriend who's pregnant.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not. She's just a friend.
Stalker.